Hey guys, I'm Cameron. I'm with Mode, and today we got James Sprague with us, the one and only 2024 CrossFit Games champ, 2025 third place. So good to be with you, man. Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you too, Cam. Yeah, it's so exciting to be here. I've been in the Mode campus now for 2 years, and you're one of our newest additions. It's been so awesome seeing your face in the gym and getting to know you and your craft, because we kind of clash worlds a little bit, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of fun. Yeah, the strongman CrossFit world. What I've told people who are really familiar with CrossFit is like strongman is similar to CrossFit in the sense like we'll both do yokes or we'll both do like some athletic strength events, but ours are a lot heavier and for only like 30 seconds in duration, where you can have like 10-minute events, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We'll have much longer than 10-minute events. You know, we'll go an hour and a half sometimes. It just really depends on the competition and the part of the season. Every competition has a little different niche. I'm not sure if strongman's like that as well, where, you know, you go to the Arnold and you can expect these things, and you go to the Rogue and you expect these things. Is it like that, or is it
100%? Yeah.
Same with CrossFit.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What's funny is the Rogue Invitational for you guys would be considered a more heavy CrossFit competition. If
Heaviest
that's
of the year. Yeah.
Okay, because for strongman, it's decently heavy. Some of the events were pretty heavy this year, but it's thought of as more of an athletic competition, whereas like Strongest Man on Earth, put on by Brian Shaw, and the Arnold, those are like the heavy competitions in strongman. That's where like you're going in like peak strength.
Totally. That's so funny that, like, you know, a lot of these people, when they hear the word strongman, they think who can lift the most weight, but there is that component to it where, like, you do have to move fast and be really anaerobic and work for these really powerful output periods, even if it's not moving a heavy weight. It could be just like running across the floor as fast as you could to get to your weight. Like, that's part of your sport as well. So just seeing like a 400-pound strongman sprint, like that's a scary sight. You don't want to get run over by that guy.
Yeah, no, 100% not. Yeah, when it comes to strongman, that's where it does differ with powerlifting, where powerlifting, it's your 1-rep squat, bench, deadlift combined for the win. And whereas in strongman, you do have to be able to move with weights. So maybe your top end strength might be a little worse in the bench or the squat. Deadlift, you know, strongmen do a lot, but you definitely have to have the athleticism to be able to move with really heavy weight, sprint, you know, for short durations, those kind of things. So it is kind of fun.
True that. It's one of the reasons I love CrossFit too, is like I was really drawn to the fact that I have to be good at everything. And there was so many components when I started that I had no clue how to do these things. I had no clue how to do muscle ups or handstand push-ups or put 225 over my head. And all these concepts invigorated me to like master. And still, you know, that quote is like, you have to do something for 10,000 hours to master it. I was doing the math in the car this morning with my wife, and I'm not even at 10,000 hours yet, 10 years in, which is wild, considering I've done on average 4 hours of training a day, 5 to 6 days a week. I'm still not at 10,000 hours. So I'm not even a master. So I'm like, this is crazy. I have so much room to keep growing 10 years in. It's just a testament that you can never stop improving, and that excites me too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, how old are you?
23 years old, and you're 28?
Yeah.
28.
So about to be 29 here in a few weeks.
You old man, you got gray hairs?
Not yet, almost. I still have 1 year left of youth.
Yes, you do. And you're a dad of 2?
Yeah.
And more kids on the way, yeah?
Hopefully.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that is the goal. I got 2 daughters. You know, I always thought like I needed a son.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point, if I have only daughters, I'm totally chill with it.
You're complacent.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Totally fine. Yeah.
That's
I
really
feel
cool.
like every guy is like, I need a son.
Totally.
Yeah, he's going to wrestle like I did, play football like I did.
Yep.
And then I had 2 daughters, and I was like, they are so perfect and adorable. Like,
Totally.
I could totally have all daughters, 100%.
Super cool.
Like, would I love to have a son? Sure. But if next one's a daughter, doesn't bother me.
One thing I think about too, I'm like, ideally, I want 2 boys and a girl, and I want the 2 boys to be first and then the girl to be young so the boys protect them. And I'm like,
yes.
The only reason that I think I really want boys is because I feel like I went through youth. I did go through youth as a boy, and I can relate to them more. And I'm like, I selfishly want to be able to like pour into them because, like, and I still can do that with a daughter. But as like boys, you know, we have different struggles than females do, and the female struggles, my wife will be able to relate to more. So I'm like, I want to be the cool dad who knows how to relate. So I guess you figured it out with daughters. So if you can do it, I think I can do it too.
Yeah, 100%. What's funny is when you were talking about having 2 sons first, protect the younger daughter, that's what I wanted for that exact reason. And so, because growing up, so I have a twin sister and younger brother.
Yeah.
And so I got in tons of fights growing up.
Yeah.
So like first time I ever got suspended was in first grade.
Oh my gosh.
And it was because some kid would like say something mean to my sister and I had no chill at that time. And so I would just beat the kid up.
Oh my
And so for so many years, it was just all about protecting my sister.
Yeah.
And so when I became an adult and we were having kids, I was like, I need to have a son who's going to protect my daughters.
Yep.
And, would that have been cool? Yeah, but I guess responsibility just falls on me, so some 6-year-old's bullying her.
Yeah.
I'm just...
You're going to go get him.
That's right.
Cam the strongman beats up 6-year-old. Great headline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
Lose my job right there.
Right? Yeah, we wouldn't do that, guys. We wouldn't beat a kid up. Don't worry.
No.
We're cool here at Mode.
Yeah, probably not.
We love the kids around the campus. They're actually a lot smarter than me most of the time. They're teaching me things, coming into the gym, be like, tell me what they learned from the day. And they're learning such cool things here at the academy upstairs. And in their PE class, they're like doing some really cool fitness. Like the PE teachers aren't just having them play games and like mess around. It's like structured fitness. And these kids are like actually getting this awesome health program with this really cool teaching program, and they're learning things that are actually going to apply to real life, and I just love it. Like, I want my kids to go here, and I can't wait till I have kids, because it will definitely be a conversation with my wife, like, can we bring them Mode? Because it's awesome. I think they become real adults here.
Oh, 100%. It is really cool. I mean, here at Mode, they get a full private school, full music school, and then there's the gym. You have multiple studios. There's a couple masseuses here. You have the giant co-working space. Basically everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You could just spend your day here.
It's funny because we were walking over here, Cam and I, and I was like, I've never been in this part of the building. And I've been here for 2 years. And I've never been around this podcast studio in this back room where it lies. Like, it's just so big. And I am just fascinated every time I walk on this campus or inside the building. I'm like, wow, I get to work out here. It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the Rogue Invitational with you a little bit. You just competed there. Before I get into that, I want to just explain how I first heard about you when we first talked. So when I interviewed here a couple months ago now, I was being shown around the whole building by Luke, and he's like, yeah, and right here is the 2024 CrossFit Games champ. And I was like, what the heck? Like, here? He trains here? And you came up to me, super nice, chatted with me for just a couple minutes, because you had your workout to get to. Because, in strongman, we take like 10-minute breaks. Totally. You guys, actually care about like serious conditioning. So we chat for just a minute. And then the next, maybe it was like 3 or 4 days later, I get a text from Todd Herman, mutual friend. And he's like, hey, I have this, my coach, wants to work with someone to work on his log press. You might have heard of him. His name is James Sprague. He was the 2024 CrossFit Games champ. I was like, I literally just met him a couple days ago. That is so funny. And super so then random. got a little session in together. That was awesome. Kind of fun. Yep. Right before the Rogue. But I'd love to hear about where you were at last year, 2024, with the Rogue, and the improvements that you made going into it this year. For sure. So for everyone listening, like, the Rogue Invitational is one of the biggest competitions of the CrossFit season. It's definitely one of the biggest paydays as well for the athletes. So obviously, you structure your training to be really peaked for the Rogue Invitational. The CrossFit Games events like that are where you want to shine. Mm-hmm. And the year I went before was my first year getting invited, because it's an invitational, and I had pneumonia right before the competition. So I show up there and I just sucked. I was just sucking wind the whole time. I got super sore super early, and just was not a good competition. And those are good growth moments, because when things don't go your way, it's how you respond. And that's why my favorite Bible verse is, a righteous man falls 7 times, yet he rises again. And so for me, the Rogue Invitational this year was a redemption story from that prior year, having pneumonia and feeling just super weak and not being able to showcase what I wanted. It was also a really tough time in 2024 going to the Rogue Invitational, because I had just won the CrossFit Games and the Worlds, and I felt like I had everything to prove and everything to lose by showing up with pneumonia. I was like, if I go, get on this podium again, it validates my games win. And if I don't, people are just going to be like, Sprague sucked at this competition, meaning his games win was invalid and the programming wasn't right. And just getting the media talking, which never matters to me, because
in my soul. I know how hard I worked for that win before at the games, and how much effort that took and how much went into that. But, it's just annoying hearing people talk. So I want to give them every reason to shut up and be like, wow, this guy can't be messed with. So that was my motivation this year, was like, I want to go be very good at every competition I show up at, and I want to make sure I am always fighting for that top spot. Even if I'm not in it, I'm relevant in that conversation. So Rogue Invitational this year definitely was one of those stories. I felt like I was, really good with things that held me back last year. I was healthy. I felt really strong. I had multiple top 3 finishes, which in those events are really crucial for gaining points. And to me, Rogue Invitational, as being a weaker guy in CrossFit, it shouldn't be a good event for me, and ended up taking 4th place. And I was really satisfied and happy with it, but also, at the same time, angry because I know I could do better. But that's that athlete in you. It should always be striving for more. Never greedy, but always striving for more.
Oh, 100%. And you were pretty close to the podium. Just a few more things went your way. You were really close to 3rd from what I remember seeing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally you can always look back at the weekend and go, oh, a millisecond there, or, 2 extra pounds on this lift, and I'm, making 10, 20, 30 more grand, and I'm up on the podium.
Yeah.
And it's milliseconds. But that's sports. That's why it's so exciting. You're never promised anything. Go fight for every point. And one of the best CrossFitters said, his name's Justin Medeiros, one of my good friends, he said, die for points. And if you want it, you're going to die for points.
Man, that's really huge. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Now, coming off the Rogue Invitational, you also have another competition coming up. What's that competition?
Yeah, so there's different leagues. There's the CrossFit Games season, which is a league of its own. Then there's the World Fitness Project season, which is this next competition coming up. It's the final stop of the year for the World Fitness Project. This one's in Denmark. And that's currently, so cool. Yeah, it'll be really awesome. I was just in Europe a couple weeks ago, so going back to Europe's a little daunting right now. Time change, different food, out of your own bed. But anyways, we're athletes. We figure it out. We're good at adapting on the fly. Yeah. This competition will be the finale of the World Fitness Project, and it's going to be a 4-day competition. And currently, I'm the leader of the season, so technically, all I have to do is go take a 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, and I win the season. It depends on who gets in front of me if I get 4th or 5th, but I'm confident I can go finish this one strong and end with a win.
Okay, interesting. So that's not something that I was aware of.
No, yeah.
So you win a season. Can you explain that?
Yes, for sure. So the season structure for this tour is you have multiple tour stops before you have the finale. So this year we competed in Indiana and we competed in Arizona before the finale, which is in the Denmark, Copenhagen, where we're going to. So these 2 tour stops we had first are you accumulate points, and then the tour stop you get double the points. So these 2 tours and the finale are both worth the same thing. So right now I have if you win a tour stop, you get 500 points. If you get 2nd, you get 470, and it goes down. Right now I have 970 points because I took a 2nd and a 2nd at the first 2 tour stops. So I have 970 points, and the guy below me is 910 points, and then it keeps going down. So yeah, you accumulate points throughout the season, and then the higher you finish in the season, you get a bigger contract for the next year. So first place gets the biggest payday for the next year, which is cool. So you're just paid to show up, and then you get prize money as well.
That's really cool. Okay,
awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah.
When I first came here and I did start seeing your train, this is the first time that I'd ever been around CrossFit. So when I was growing up, I was doing bodybuilding style training, and then I went into powerlifting a little bit, and then got into strongman. And watching your training definitely reminded me a bit more of my wrestling days.
Totally.
And as I've been watching you train, and then I see our basketball team that comes in and trains, and I see other athletes, it started to get me wondering, who are the best athletes?
Totally.
And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yes. I mean, athleticism is defined in different ways. How I would define it is a very CrossFit-y way, is your ability to perform at high intensities with varied exercises across varied time domains. So, the same person, I would not call the best marathon runner the fittest person. Neither would I call the strongman the fittest person. I would call the person who can do it all well the fittest person. Now, when we look at athleticism, we're saying jumping.
Yep.
We're saying strength. We're saying agility,
Coordination.
Coordination, stamina, athleticism. That's what I think of. So when I think of athleticism, it's really hard for me to pinpoint like who's the most athletic athlete.
I know.
It's really hard. But I will say that if you put a CrossFitter in that mix, they're probably going to come out close to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I compete in strongman, but if you were to ask me who are the best athletes, I wouldn't say strongman because we put so much emphasis in one area of athleticism that it leaves gaps in the others, which is fine because that's the sport I want to do.
Yep.
But if you're like trying to find the best athletes, as I've been thinking about this, like I said, strength, stamina, ability, agility, stability, coordination, I think is huge.
Totally.
Like I think CrossFitters, I think they'd be up there.
Yep.
Some of the other people that I've thought of, football players.
I thought of that too.
Specifically corners. Like cornerbacks are some of the freakiest athletes. So fast.
Yep.
Okay, strong.
Reactive.
Hit hard.
Yep.
Yeah, very reactive. Because that's obviously a really hard job where, if you're a receiver, if you're a receiver running a route and you're the corner reacting, you've got to react just as fast, if not faster, or else, the quarterback's getting the ball to the receiver all day.
Totally.
So
yeah, it is a very tough position, and I also think that football players in general, like you have to be fit to be a starter because you're out there a lot of plays going and going and going. You have to be strong. You have to be powerful and coordinated. So I like the football aspect of it too for overall athleticism. Like everyone that competes in a sport, I'd consider an athlete. So there's so many different ways to like bring athleticism into like a well-rounded definition. Like a tennis player is going to do some things better than a football player, even though they're just hitting things with a racket. They're moving across the court. They're doing a lot of lateral movement. They're probably better reactive times and have better hand-eye coordination than most football players. Like, it's just every sport has its little niche, and that's why I like CrossFit. Like I said, I truly think you have to be good at everything, and I think it's so cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The other people who I think, obviously, like your decathlon athletes, it's going to be similar to CrossFitters in some ways. But the other group that I was thinking of would be MMA fighters.
Oh, yeah.
Would be really high up there because, like, when it comes to fighting, that is, like, the most primal sport that there is.
Yeah. And
your ability to take another human being down, be precise and fast in your striking ability, to defend a takedown, like, if you were to have a wrestling match and you haven't wrestled and you're facing a really high level wrestler, and let's say there's not like a 400-pound weight difference, like there's no way you're defending the takedown because there's just so many hundreds and thousands of hours required to figure out how to stop an elite wrestler from taking you down.
Yep.
Like the athleticism is off the charts.
Totally.
The only thing I wonder is like throw them a ball. Are they going to catch it? Or like, shooting a basketball, other things like that. But then again, maybe those are just some small weaknesses where they have tons of strengths in all these other areas. Whereas, maybe similar with CrossFit, like I wonder like how well they would do in basketball, football. Like I don't know about the coordination when it comes like catching, throwing balls, things like that. But obviously the endurance is insane, and the strength is still insane. And other things. So
totally, it's cool. We try and do it all. I think my favorite aspect of it is you get to combine the elements. So like you'll do a workout that has an endurance component, you'll have a weight component and a gymnastics component. And it's like that's what CrossFit is, combining those three things.
Yeah. Now, earlier you had mentioned that you came to Mode a couple years ago. So how long were you doing CrossFit before that, and how did you end up finding Mode to start to continue CrossFit?
Yeah. Wow. I found my mode. Yeah, so I have been doing CrossFit for 10 years. I started back early 2016. My dad got me into the sport. He was super invested in it. He made the CrossFit Games. He was like at the Worlds a couple of the years as well. So he put a lot of time into the sport. And I always watched him while I was growing up and thought it was cool, but it wasn't the thing for me. And I always wanted to cheer him on, but it looked really hard. And I was a kid who feared pain, and I didn't want to be uncomfortable. I was living in that like comfort stage of life, and I realized. Like one day I was like, I need this to grow. Like I'm gonna need this to like become a man and take that next step in life. And so I just walked into a CrossFit gym with my dad, got humbled day after day after day, and then actually started getting pretty good at it, getting obsessed with the results. And then I lost a ton of weight during that time too, and made the CrossFit Games for the first time in 2017 as a teenager.
Whoa.
And that was pretty cool. I put a lot of my identity in the sport as well, which was not cool because that definitely dominated my life. And like, I felt like I defined myself based on my CrossFit performances, which totally like just led to a lot of sadness and let down because, you know, the sports are going to let you down. You're going to lose, and you're going to, you know, not be where you want to be most of the time, and you're going to have to keep chasing. So long story short, you know, found the sport 2016. Then I found Mode end of 2023. You know, there were some other gyms working in here at the time, and you know, there was some collaborations going on, and they brought me into this gym, and I was like, wow, this is absolutely incredible. You know, this place is decked out with CrossFit equipment. It's so ideal for anyone trying to progress in their fitness at all. You know, they have every piece of equipment to be a CrossFitter, a bodybuilder, a strong man. We're working on getting all that stuff in here as well. But the Mode gym was just attractive to me because the space is big, they have the equipment, and I definitely felt like I can be a professional in here. Doesn't mean you have to be a professional. You could just be an average Joe wanting to get on the treadmill, and we all fit in the same place, which is great. And that's also what I love about CrossFit too, is it's fully scalable. Like anyone can do it, no matter what age, what limitations you have. You know, there's ways to do an air squat. If you can't do an air squat, we're going to figure out how to mimic that movement as best as we can with your limitations. If you have bad knees, bad hips, or not the mobility to get down. So anyways, just love being part of Mode because it's great to have different people of, you know, different backgrounds in there with different fitness levels. And honestly, I've just been able to meet a lot of cool people here.
Yeah.
And have my friends come work out with me and train with me because I'm in here hours on hours a day. So it's really helpful to just have a good group and a good crew. And it's helped make my career a lot more fun, a lot more sustainable. And it's the gym that helped me win to train, helped me train to win the CrossFit Games. So
Yeah.
I think it's a place for me.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know, what's really interesting is a lot of people are under the impression when they're around really high level athletes such as yourself, it's almost intimidating because the amount of weight you're lifting and what you're doing in your workouts are really hard. But what I've found is as I've met you or other like elite strongmen, they're nothing but nice, very kind. Like I said, first time I had met you, you had no idea who I was or what I'd accomplished at all. You came and talked to me. You were very nice. A couple of your other buddies came and said hi. So it can be intimidating.
Totally.
But it's really not.
Yeah.
You know, like anyone could go up and say hi to you.
Totally.
Talk to you. Obviously, if you're in the middle of your rounds or your workout or something, that's a little different. But that's the one thing that's really cool about high level athletes is generally because they know how hard it is to get to their level. If someone else isn't there but they want to improve, you're gonna be like, oh yeah.
I'm drawn to that.
Totally down to help.
Totally. I'm just drawn to hard workers. Like, honestly, people that want to improve, like, I want you in the room. If you want to slack off and be lazy and not work hard, like, I don't want you in there. You're not gonna rub off on me. You're not gonna make me better. But if you are just coming in and say, hey, I want to be better today, like, there is a place for you at this gym and any gym. Like, you know, you're gonna figure it out. So I think a lot of people, first time gym goers, get nervous because they are gonna look like they may not be doing things right, or, you know, maybe their form's bad and people are gonna judge them. It's like anyone judging you for that really has a problem on their own. Like, come into the gym, like, you're gonna have to learn and adapt your movement. I'm still learning 10 years later. That's just how it works. It's like, you know, you movement's hard to master. And there's a lot of things that go into each specific movement. So just be okay with failing and learning and moving forward with that to be better.
Yeah, 100%. I've been working out for 16 years, been training for 8. And even now, I actually just reached out to a coach. First time ever, actually. I've always done my own coaching. But even now, I reached out to someone. Shout out MST Systems. Thank you.
Let's go.
So anyway, I reached out to him because there's always more that you can be learning. And if you are a student of the game, that's where you will have your best results.
Totally.
Yeah, once you're stagnant, you're like, I got this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to improve.
Yeah.
It's like that with anything in life, really. If you get to that point, you start to regress. You usually don't stay in the same spot. It's usually progression or regression, one of
Totally.
those two.
So true. Yeah, that's what I'm fighting right now is like I've been competing so much that my training blocks haven't been full. Like usually a good training block for me is at least 3 months of like no travel, great, progressions in the gym, good deloads, good tapers, body feels good, healthy. And I've been competing like every month. So I'm struggling with that right now is like to be able to like find good time to like get a really good training block. And so I'm just changing my perspective. Like, hey, 3 weeks is what you need right now. Make this 3 weeks the best possible 3 weeks you can. And with that mindset, I'm able to go into this next competition like, hey, you know what? You worked with what you had, maximize that. And don't just sit on the fact like, oh, you didn't have your 3 months, it's not going to be great. Like, no, who cares? Like, you don't need that. Like you've done it before, you're going to do it again. Get up there, take an at bat, swing. You're probably going to hit a home run if you believe you are. So just keep believing.
Yeah, I've definitely learned, especially from my last competition, everybody can come up with excuses because everyone's dealing with some kind of injury, didn't have a good enough prep, family life, jobs, whatever is going on. Pretty much everybody has that. So the difference between the elite athletes or elite whatever it is, it's when you say, yeah, I could rely on this excuse and I could make this a part of my identity and who I am, but I'm not going to because it's not a part of my identity and who I am. Everybody deals with this and I just got to overcome.
For sure. Yeah, I think it also helps when you like had a really unideal like road to success. Like I had knee surgeries and I was overweight and I was depressed as like a kid and it just like, everything was unideal for me to become like the fittest man on earth 10 years ago. Like there was no way I would have ever believed you if you told me, James, you're going to be the fittest man on earth one day. But like, I felt like I had to overcome obstacles. When my parents got divorced and I started to choose this path of destruction, like getting out of that taught me so much about who I want to be and what I want to become and not setting limitations on what I can do. So I feel like you need some kind of adversity as an athlete to like get to that point. Like you need to hit a rock bottom almost to know like, hey, like this sucks, but I can dig myself out of that. I can dig myself out of any hole now.
Yes, I know all too well what you're talking about.
Yep.
Now, if you were to give some advice to a newer gym goer, someone who they've tried a couple times to get into the gym in the past, maybe tried, doing the New Year's resolution thing, doesn't last very long, they struggle to find the discipline, what would be some advice that you would give to that person?
Yeah, someone new to the gym, start easy, make it fun. If there's something that sounds fun in the gym, do it. Like, I think that people get so caught up in the beginning with like, I have to stick to this like really hard routine and 75 hard or my 2-hour workouts or whatever it is. They set like goals that aren't fun and then so they burn out. Like the gym should be fun. You should be invigorated by the process of whatever you're chasing. And so like if you're a new fitness goer and you try and put all this pressure on yourself to perform this amount of sets and this amount of reps per day, it's not going to be enjoyable for long. And that will eventually become enjoyable because that's how you'll see the progress and success is by sticking to a routine. But like just go in and figure out how to move, do things that sound fun without injuring yourself, of course. And also get someone who knows what they're doing to help you. I think a lot of people struggle to ask for help when they're new to the gym because they don't want to be a burden or a nuisance. And it couldn't be more opposite. Guys like you and me, like we want to help new people get into the gym, understand how to move their bodies correctly because we know it just sets them up for so much success in other areas of life. So like me and you want to share that gift with people. Totally. So just find someone like me and Cam. There's tons of people out there besides me and Cam that want to show people fitness and want to help them do it in the right ways and help them have a healthy balance with it. Not just overtrain or do too much too soon so you don't want to come back, but like ease you in the right way so it becomes a really realistic habit.
Yeah, not to mention, if someone comes up and asks you for help while you're in the gym, I mean, that's flattering.
It's awesome.
Like if I'm,
it's an honor.
Yeah, if I'm working out of mode and someone's like, hey man, what are your thoughts on doing this bench press or this, whatever it is? I'm like, Oh, thanks. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad you would think to ask me.
Super cool.
That's really nice.
Yeah, like, hey, you look like you know what you're doing. Like, I want your help, and I'm like, that's really cool. Same with whenever my wife asks me for help with something. I'm like, she thinks I can help her do this task or something she can't do. Like, I'm always like, wow, I don't know if it's just being a man or like why that's so invigorating, but I love it. It's cool.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
One of the things that you had mentioned just a minute ago was doing too much too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Peterson says something along the lines of, a lot of times people don't reach their goals because they don't aim low enough. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really deep because usually when you do want to hit a goal, you aim super high. Yep. You're like, I haven't worked out in 2 years or maybe ever, but I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to be there for an hour. My brother-in-law has this really great workout routine. He gave it to me, so I'm going to be doing that. And in reality, like maybe you do that for a week or two, but it's very rare that anyone sticks to something like that, going from 0 to 100. So if you don't do any exercise right now, start going like 2 or 3 times a week, like 30-minute sessions, and you just build that habit.
Totally.
And you build that habit. And then once you're good at doing that, then you start to add more, because then as you work up slowly, you get used to it. But yeah, when you shoot too high sometimes,
doesn't pay off. There's a thing called Quitter's Day, and people make New Year's goals Jan 1st, obviously, to start them. Quitter's Day is the 10th or 11th day of January. Why? Because once you get 10 days in, 11 days in, you realize, oh, my goal, it's pretty hard to stay consistent with. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Quitter's Day is a horrible day, and it sucks people in because they think I can't do this. So way to prevent Quitter's Day from being a victim of it is to set realistic goals that actually like you think you could do more. Like what's a goal right now that I could set where I'd be like, oh, that should be easy. I think I could do more than that. Let's say it's drinking 4 glasses of water a day. Oh, I can easily do that. Okay, prove it. Do it for the 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Drink your 4 glasses of water. If you prove it to me and you say it's still easy, great. We'll move up. But drink your 4 glasses of water first and then tell me.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I really like that.
Yeah.
Quitter's Day. So anyone who I see in the gym on the 12th who I haven't seen before, I'm going to be like, hey,
good job.
Passed. You passed the first test. Good job.
The hardest part of it. I'm sponsored by a brand called Jocko Fuel. Anyone listening has probably heard of it. Jocko is a Navy SEAL, and he writes books. He's a motivator. Obviously really fit guy, super successful. But his big thing is discipline, and discipline equals freedom. And the reason they talk about discipline equals freedom is because when you're able to commit to something and commit to yourself a set of goals, it's actually very freeing, and you just unlock new levels of happiness and gratification and success that you just can't unlock if you don't have discipline. So that's why I love that mantra, discipline equals freedom. It's all over all their cans and all their protein shakes and everything and their supplements, and just beautiful. So cool.
I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to a younger man who I taught in church a few years back, and we were talking a little bit about him starting exercising, and he's like, yeah, I just don't always have the motivation. And so I kind of talked with him a little bit about the difference between discipline and motivation. Motivation is something that's very fleeting. All of a sudden, like you see a cool movie, video, YouTube, whatever it is, even a song, and you feel amped up and motivated.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stay with you.
Never.
But if you're disciplined, what we kind of talked about was doing things you need to, but you don't want to.
Yep.
And us both being religious, I talked to him like, hey, you don't want to keep a commandment, or like you're struggling to keep it. Spiritual discipline involves being like, man, I don't want to, but I'm going to because it's the right thing.
Totally.
Or like if I don't want to work out, I'm struggling to have that desire, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yep.
Even if it's small, I'm going to work my way up.
Totally.
And as you build your discipline, that's when you're really going to start to see the success ultimately.
It's a muscle. There's things that I'm still not disciplined in, and I'm actually doing this reset going into 2026, and what I chose to do a reset with was my self-control with food. And I think there's a lot of times I'm so good throughout the day about my nutrition choices. I'm eating my ground beef and rice and, a healthy breakfast, a lot of fruits and veggies. And then I get to nighttime. I'm with my wife in front of the TV and I go, that popcorn and ice cream sounds really good. how often do I shut that voice off and say, no, it doesn't? I'm not good at it. And so that's why I'm doing this reset into 2026, being like, hey, here's something that's holding you back from being the best possible James you can be out on that competition floor.
Yeah.
And I haven't been doing it. I've been lazy. And I'm disciplined in a lot of areas of my life. But I identified that one that I go, huh. And I also have other areas, like I want to be in the Word more. I want to read my Bible more. I want to pray for people more. I have spiritual disciplines that I need to be better at as well. But this discipline, I made a really tangible goal to not eat anything junk food, and I'm going to replace it with veggies or a really healthy protein shake. If I'm having cravings, usually I just need that crunch. So I'm going to get some carrots and some snap peas and just have a clean month. It's going to be great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, with the last few minutes, I want to ask you just a few questions for
Please.
fun. So if you could be the best in the world at any sport besides CrossFit, what would it be?
Wrestling. I think wrestlers are
Yes.
awesome. Me and
answer.
Cam both wrestled, and we both know it's freaking hard. Very
yeah.
mental, and creates so much toughness and grit. And I think that the best wrestler in the world could go conquer any challenge.
Oh, 1,000%. I've literally never done anything as hard as wrestling in my
Never.
entire life.
Me neither.
Oh, yeah. I remember going out serving a 2-year mission and talking with people like, dude, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And total respect, because some people, maybe their mission was harder than mine, for
Totally.
sure. I totally get. But I was like, wrestling season's 1,000 times harder than this.
Oh,
Holy smokes. Like,
Yeah.
even strongman. I mean, wrestling's still my favorite sport, even though I don't compete in it.
Yeah.
Tear, my soul still
Tear.
hurts sometimes.
We're going to get on the mat,
But
though.
yes, we are.
Come on.
Actually, let's talk about that for a minute. I mean,
Okay.
so because you and I both wrestled
Yep.
for a decent amount of time,
Yep.
and here was my idea.
Let's hear it.
If we were to do like 4 2-minute rounds,
Ooh.
and each round is a distinct match
Yeah.
per se, and the reason being is I think it would favor me in the beginning
Yep.
with less endurance, favor you towards the end.
Yep.
But then that way, if there's like a pin or
Totally.
something, it's not over.
Totally.
It's okay. Well, that round is
Yep.
over.
Oh, I'd love that.
But we
We would
still
be
got-
crushed, dude. That'd be so fun to make a YouTube out of, too. Be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, strongman versus CrossFitter. Obviously, I think the first 2 rounds, you're probably going to score more points on me. Obviously, you were a state wrestler as well. I never went to state. You're pretty dang good. So you'll have the upper hand in those first 2 rounds. But I'm excited. This is going to be cool.
Yeah, we definitely need to make this work. Maybe,
100%.
but man, you have so many competitions. Like maybe we do it after this upcoming comp that you
I
have.
love that. Let's do
Okay,
it.
we'll make it work.
It's super
oh
fun.
man, yeah.
Come on.
It's still like I
I've
was
been
actually
waiting to get back on the mats. Like it's fun when you know the guy you're wrestling with is like just wants to like be better with you. They don't want to pin you because they hate you. Like I think people get in the wrestling ring and they're like, I need to look at this guy like I want to kill him. It's like I think that's cool when you're competing. Like sure, you got to look at this guy like he's trying to kill you and you want to kill him. But like when you're wrestling with a bro, and I know this sounds so weird, but it's like it's way more fun.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, when I would go out for matches versus practice, the mindset was definitely
Way
different.
different.
Because like when I would go out before a match, I would always picture, just like when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
like someone's messing with my twin sister,
Yes.
and I would go out there and go ballistic. Now,
Yes.
some guys don't do well. Some guys need to stay more calm, and they do a lot better that way. I'm definitely a guy, like you see me in the gym, I'm always sniffing, smelling salts. Like I'm definitely that guy who gets intense, but I do way better
Totally.
with that. But in practice, because I'm wrestling with my friends, like I don't cross face them as hard as I can. I don't
Totally.
slam them to intimidate them and make
Yeah.
them feel it.
Yeah, it's
you
like
know?
that's not the point.
Yeah, who wants to injure their training partner?
Nobody.
That would suck for
Yeah,
you. So
Yeah, we'll have some fun. We'll have an update for you guys hopefully in a month. No broken leg. It's just a victor and someone who took the L.
that's right.
Go either way.
Yeah, and probably if we do it in like a month, that'd be good for me anyway,
Yeah.
because I have so many minor injuries right now that I'm just like trying to rest, trying
The
to
life
recover
of an
from.
athlete.
Oh, I know.
Through that.
Yeah. Now, another question.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Are there any fitness trends going on recently or now that just annoy the crud out of you?
Ozempic.
Ozempic?
Yeah, Ozempic pisses me off. People taking shortcuts with that. It's my wife's a pharmacist. She shoots it straight with me, and she's like, yeah, there's no like contraindications that we can see like in the near term, but in my opinion, it's making you mentally weak. You think you can take this shortcut. And I truly think like the Ozempic, there's people that need it, sure. I think for some people with diabetes and certain conditions, but I think that the majority of people taking it just don't want to do the hard work. I think that's a trend right now going on that's related to the fitness space. Other trends, let's see. I've never understood the like ultra marathon thing. I've never understood that. I don't think it's a current trend, but like running 100 miles.
David Goggins.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't want to say like, oh, it's cringy, because I think that'd be really hard.
Oh yeah.
But I think like it's steering away from like what health and fitness is. Like that's just body deterioration at that point. I think even no matter how hard you train for it, it gets really hard to like justify, oh, that's healthy for you running 100 miles. No. And I think a lot of training should support health at the end of the day. That's why I would also say sniffing salts before you get on the echo bike is also not a great health trend.
Hey, I will say nothing so far has been found to be negative for smelling salts. That's throwing it out there.
Hey, I did not know that actually. So I would have thought that sniffing salts were like really bad for your brain.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You want, and what's so interesting is so many things seem like that. Like I've noticed as I've gotten older, where like you just assume something is true because logically it would make sense.
Yep.
And then it turns out when you look into it, you're like, oh, I guess, my perceived logic,
Totally.
Led me to a false conclusion. Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, I was
Totally.
gonna bring up like something completely different, but I was like, maybe a little too controversial.
For sure.
But only got like one or two more that I want to go through here. If you could train with one athlete, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
One athlete, man, this is tough. I've trained with a lot of the high level CrossFitters in the space, so I've been pretty blessed to do that. So I have to go into another sport. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to train with like Tom Brady. I mean, he's not like a CrossFitter, but like a guy who's been on the top so many years and so many years of success. Like just hearing his mindset would be cool. But like, yeah, generally, I wouldn't say it'd be like an athlete. I don't want to work out with like a pop star or like Donald Trump or something. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun just to pick these guys' brains and be like, huh, so why'd you say that? And why'd you say that? And, like I think that'd be cool. So I guess I'll go with Tom Brady for now.
Yeah, dude, Tom Brady is my favorite football player of all time.
Very cool.
You're a very smart man.
Come on.
You know who? Could you guess who I would choose?
You would choose Mitchell Hooper.
Oh, 2,000%.
The best strongman out there right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, best strongman currently, and I personally think he's the best ever.
Yeah.
If you look at, because obviously he doesn't have the longevity necessarily.
Yep.
He's been at the top for a few years, but like obviously if you compare him to Big Z, who's at the top for like 15 years, that's going to be a little different. But like if you were just to have like a 10 event competition. With standard strongman events, like I don't see who would beat Mitchell Hooper. I just really don't.
Yeah.
And so I would love. What's funny is at the official strongman games, I talked to him. I totally was fangirling, and I was like, but I went and talked to him. And what's really cool, is he was like, hey, because I told him I was like, hey, have you ever, James Sprague? You guys gonna train together? And he's like, maybe. And I was like, hey, if you go down there. Podcast.
Yes. Oh, he would totally do it. He's a cool guy.
I know. He is so cool, so nice, which I kind of gathered that from watching tons of his YouTube content.
Yep.
Very intelligent.
Yep.
Strongmen, I feel like strongman athletes as people were a lot of great people. In terms of intelligence, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, totally.
Mixed bag.
Same with CrossFit. A lot of us fry our brain just doing too many clean jerks. I get it.
Oh, yeah, dude. And maybe too many salts.
Oh, my gosh. Too many salts. Yep.
But, yeah, Mitchell Hooper stands out as someone who's really intelligent, really thinks about his training, as well as he's not afraid to say what he actually thinks, which I really appreciate.
Yep.
Especially in today's world. It's really hard to get someone's honest take on a lot of things, just because there's so much pressure to be politically correct, to say the right thing. And sometimes, like when you're having a free-form conversation like we are, with basically no structure, sometimes you say things, you try to articulate a principle that maybe you haven't articulated a lot, and it gets a little difficult, comes out different, you know?
Yep.
Well, I got one last question for you, and that is, if you could give your beginner self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Not take it so seriously. I think in the beginning it was all about how good I could be and how quick, and my worth was in that, as I mentioned, and just enjoy it more, man. Training is meant to be fun. It's meant to invigorate you. It's meant to empower you and give you confidence. And it did anything but those things for me in the beginning. So I would have just gone back and tried to enjoy, the small things more, the conversation I got to have in the gym, the people I got to do it with, the small wins per day. And, just soak it in. I think I wasted a lot of my younger years worrying and idolizing, obviously, and now I can say that I'm saved from that, and I've escaped that mentality. It's been great.
Cool. Love to hear it, man. Well, thanks for coming on the Mode podcast. It was great. You know what's funny is you're the first non-strongman power lifter that I have interviewed, so this is great.
We need more of this.
Yeah, get some more CrossFitters over here.
Cam.
100%.
You know it. Well, thanks for having me. It was an honor, and hopefully get to share more with you guys soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you all for listening.
Heck yeah.
Bye.